The voice of Husker Nation is on the air. This is Hail Varsity Radio. Insight, opinion, expertise, along with the biggest names talking Nebraska sports. Join in with the show at 402-489-1240 or 1-800-825-5865. Now, here are your hosts, Chris Schmidt and Elijah Herbel.
Welcome to it. Great to have you in on a Monday. It's Hail Varsity Radio. We're powered by Cornhead Lager. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel. We have commandeered one Joba Chamberlain and Will Wilson back at our studios in Lincoln. Staring out in front of us is the front of Charles Schwab Field. Tight one going on, Florida, NC State. We are here at Zipline, just a hop, skip, and a jump, a foul ball away from the ballpark. You're invited down, grab a cold one with your friends at Zipline. Big shout out to our friends at Addie's for hosting us as well for the Triple Play podcast. We're posting up here when baseball happens in downtown Omaha. Numbers to get in, 489-1240, 489-1240, 800-825-5865. Can dial us up, can watch in the stream on YouTube, Hail Varsity YouTube channel. Check that out. Like and subscribe. Can also find us on Twitter, the Hail Varsity Radio Twitter feed at HVarsity Radio, and different social media platforms across some of your favorite spots. AM 590, Omaha's ESPN, KFOR, Facebook and Twitter in Lincoln, Central Nebraska's Superstation, Kearney, Hastings, Grand Island, and our friends up in Columbus, News Talk 900 in Columbus. Guys, good to be reconvened. The World Series trudges on. A&M, Kentucky for the nightcap tonight. There's a lot of folks rolling on in we all know how important hydration is. They're here to hydrate. Elijah's like, cheers. Joba is cheers. Will, cheers, my friend, and cheers to you in the stream. We'll do our starting five shout-outs. Great weekend of ball for Adrian Martinez, MVP times 2. We'll spend some time on his prospects at the NFL level. Mr. Blackshirt, Charlie McBride, going to join us in hour 2 on Monday with Charlie. Jay Moore back with us. We'll get some thoughts on the U.S. Open. What a job by Bryson. Not so much by Rory. And that was tough to take for a lot of Rory fans. But Jay will talk football and golf, or golf and football with us. Monster recruiting get for Nebraska. Christian Jones is still not committed anywhere. The stud linebacker from West Side Nebraska did get Malcolm Simpson as part of the 2025 class. As Tim Verghese with Rivals and Inside Nebraska. Tim going to be with us in about 15 minutes. So Dad's weekend, Father's Day weekend. Joba, you had steak, lots of steak. Elijah, you got to see your pops.
Yeah, see my pops. We had some Korean food, which he made.
Ooh.
Yeah, the plan was grilling, and then my little sister had work, and my brother's out of the country. He's chaperoning a trip for Lincoln East High School over to Europe. So just me and my dad. So my dad's like,
it's a good gig.
Going to make Korean food, and then once everybody can get together, we're going to do the old classic grill out. I'll bring over some ribeyes. But for last night, it was pot stickers, some chopped cheese, some rice.
Okay.
Nice little Sunday evening, followed by House of the Dragon.
Yeah, good work. Junior took me to brunch, Elijah. He didn't share his...
Did you still pay, though?
No, Mama... Well, yeah, I paid, but Mama got... Mama picked up the tab, but yeah, we share it. I got my TV.
Did you? for $200? Wow.
I didn't chip in a dime. I should have noticed that her Big Bunny mobile was backed in. A lot of folks do this into parking lots. They'll back into a parking space. I've never really been that guy, but she was parked weird in the driveway. I'm like, well, whatever. But no, that is so they could unload the TV. Well, and away we go.
Well, to take it back a couple weeks, thank God you don't try to pull backwards into any parking spots, because you can't do it forward either.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm having
he's not really good at that.
Some clear issues with the video part, so forgive me there. Will, Father's Day. What did the Big Raws get?
Well, he came down to the bar, and I covered his tab. I think when he found that out, he wouldn't stop buying shots for everybody. So I think he had a good time.
Are you allowed to coin flip for yourself on Sundays?
No, I'm not. So that's how that went. But no, it was good to see Dad. He had a great time and got him a Harbor Freight gift card, which is all he wanted. So it was a good day.
Good work. Well, tell us your Father's Day stories in the stream. Can submit what you got or what you bought for dear old Dad. Plenty of football to get into, more projections, more thoughts on Big Red football as we're now 78 days away from the kickoff to the season. But Elijah going and helping me out here, turning his computer sideways so my lovely mug can be seen here on the stream, Hail Varsity YouTube channel. But guys, let's spend a second on the College World Series and just how this thing has lived up. It's been incredible with 3 walk-offs, kind of a score fest, and Kentucky and A&M that go here in a little bit, in about an hour 45, are 2 of the last standing. Florida State still alive. Our dear friend Jeff Colhane, the voice of Florida State. So that is really cool. And you look at North Carolina, they're still doing their thing. But, man, it is so much a showcase for the great state of Nebraska. You got to be proud of that. Hopefully you get up. Is that part of a mandatory death taxes? I will get to the College World Series for at least one game.
I mean, every summer?
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah. And depends on ticket prices. I did end up, we talked about this last week, I did end up getting into that game on Saturday, the afternoon game between NC State and Kentucky. My $35 was extremely well spent. That was a hell of a baseball game. Even got an inning of free baseball. Yeah, it's just part of the experience. That opening weekend, it's always a madhouse out there, especially in the outfield. I don't think you can go wrong going to a game at the College World Series. So I'm not sure it's a death taxes make it to one game. If I didn't make it in a year, I'd be a little bit disappointed. Life would go on. But it's definitely one of those things that I think signifies summer in Nebraska is coming up to a College World Series game. I'd throw, for me personally, it's got to make it to a Salt Dogs game every single summer, make it to a Storm Chasers game, make it to a College World Series game. That's the holy trifecta of baseball in the summertime here in the state of Nebraska.
When family members aren't taking your seats, are you going, Joba?
Yes, I mean, I love it, and it's...
Throw him under the bus. It's okay.
I love you, Carter. But, no, he's just... It's something that you do when you're in Nebraska. Mm-hmm. And that is, like you said, the trifecta of whatever. Like, you're going to catch these games, and I think the coolest thing ever is, like, as we sit and do shows in different spots, and listening to people and watching people just come and go, and they're like, oh, I love you guys are talking baseball. I love you're doing this. And like just how much baseball brings everybody together. It is, and obviously I love baseball in every being of my heart, from my toes to my receding hairline. And that's the way it goes. And Carter will make fun of me because that's why I always wear a hat. So, love you again, Carter.
But at least you've avoided the dirty comb over.
Well, have you? Yeah, no, it's I'm two haircuts away from being bald. So,
did you guys see the Landon Donovan screenshot from today of his hair? He's commentating the Euros, and yeah, let's be thankful you're not Landon Donovan. I'll get the picture pulled up for you guys. I'm not sure we'll get.
Well,
on
I'm not going to take my hat off because it's not good. Okay, it's not that bad.
That's awful.
It's not that bad.
That is horrible.
It's like
shave it, bro.
I will not take my hat off on this show.
And just to paint the picture for our radio and streaming listeners, I mean, it looks like chin straps on the side, and there's no turf up front. There's no turf.
Yeah, that's
behind.
rough. That's rough. That's rough.
It's a tribute to our Mennonite friends in Pennsylvania.
Okay, well, all right. I guess I got to do it. Hold on.
No.
It ain't that bad.
Oh no, it's not Landon Donovan bad.
No.
Not even close at this point.
No, you're good. There we go. Will, you're just nodding.
Will, stop nodding. Yeah, I know it's bad. Stop.
I think
I get it.
there's an
I
endorsement
understand.
opportunity for some hair growth or something like that, Joba.
No, if it's gonna go, it's gonna go. My beard stays strong.
Well, I was going to ask, do you go eventually shave up top and then just do the bald beard look?
I have a great story about that. So Corey Allen, who I played with the Indians, well, now Guardians, his engagement pictures, full head of hair, no facial hair.
Okay.
Wedding pictures, bald head, full beard. Shout out to Corey Allen. He's a great dude, awesome person. But I'm like, if it's going to go, it's going to go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight the good fight. Like I said, I'm 2 haircuts away. I get a little locks in the back.
Right, to
hold it on.
To team with the ball cap.
To hold it on. But no, I might as well just go bald at this point.
You know what could be a look? The curls in the back with the bald spot on top. That'd be kind of business in the front, party in the back.
I'm not gonna go.
The old Dana Holgerson.
I was just gonna say
the Dana, the old skullet. Very few can pull that off. 489-1240. Let's get our starting 5 shout outs here in the stream. Mike, thanks for being first. You got in at 3:51. Justin, you are in. Good stuff. NCZ is in. Jeff Snitley, part of the Boulder Peace Treaty. He's in 4th. Robert, good to have you. He's in at 5. NASCAR Eric checks in. NASCAR Eric is in. Jimmy is part of the just extended starting 5. The other Dave, the real Dave. KG is in. Patrick, good to have you, Patrick. Ryan is checking in. Vay says, what's up from Colorado Springs. Cliff says, word up from Florida. Eat Beef is here. And Coach Brandon Kool-Aid says, what's up? And Brennan from the Black Hills is checking in on his honeymoon.
I checked in with him, actually. Honeymoon isn't officially in the works, but he said he is going to some good dirt track racing this upcoming weekend, and that's going to be the honeymoon for now.
So Brennan, 48 hours removed from saying I do to the wonderful and lovely Tracy, is in on a Monday, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. As
Tiger Shark's in again.
Tiger Shark, we love Tiger Shark as well. Brennan, good for you, bud.
Yeah, congrats, Brennan.
Yep, congrats to you. And you, Grandpa, is in as well. We'll get more of your comments, more of your shout-outs. But is it a mandatory, and if not, why not, to get to the College World Series? If in Nebraska, one spot, one shot. Junior was going to go. He decided to go golfing today, and I made him buy his own bag of balls. So,
and he almost ran out.
Well, I haven't checked in with him yet. We're going to get to this. DJ, you're spot on. Did last week's conversation get to the A&M fans, and they said, hold my beer, and got kicked out? I don't know. We left Friday off as DJ was once removed from the rail, if memory serves. And, yeah, A&M fan went, hold both my beers and shot glasses. We'll get to that a little deeper at 4:40, but an absolute disgusting display. There's heckling, there's insults, then there's getting tossed.
There's I feel like for most people out there, you've had those mornings where you wake up and said, man, what happened last night? Imagine waking up and seeing your face plastered over social media for you being an a-hole.
Yeah. Happy Father's Day, Dad. We're going to get kicked out and banned from the College World Series.
Hey, Dad, we're viral. We can't show our face in Omaha after this.
And they can't probably show their face in College Station.
Well, they're going to see it. And that's, I have been thrown out of one of my son's games. I will admit it. And that's fine. We were at Millard South. It was rightfully done. I may have thrown a few explicit in probably not the right way.
Well,
but in this instance,
there are magic words no matter how they're said.
Yeah, well, yeah, but we can't say them.
No, we cannot.
So it's just go enjoy it, have a great time. I don't care what you do, but there is that line that you don't cross. And that's it.
It seems to be, and we talked about this a little bit during the Triple Play podcast, which you can check out on Twitter at the Trip Play Pod. It seems to be this trend of more and more fans are going to games to get their licks in against the opponents than they are to go cheer for their own team. I don't quite get that trend because Nebraska's never quite been that way. Husker fans, you go to a game, you go cheer on the Huskers. You're not going to go root against somebody else.
But do you feel like they're obligated and they feel that way because they bought a ticket and they did those things? Do you think that they feel that way because they paid for the ticket and they feel like they can say whatever they want?
I think that they have this false safety net because, yeah, I'm a fan. I can do whatever I want. I can say whatever I want. I'm protected by the First Amendment, and I can absolutely unload on the poor deceased Florida Bat Boys that were stepsons to Florida's head coach, that the Florida's coach, his wife, her ex-husband murdered these two kids. Very dark thing in 2021. We'll talk recruiting. Tim Verghese, Inside Nebraska Rivals, on the way with Hail Varsity.
The perfect place to go for lunch every day.
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Where can you watch all of your favorite college and professional sports all season long?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Who's got family-friendly entertainment all throughout the week, including trivia, music bingo, and live music every Friday?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Hurrdat Sports Bar in La Vista is the spot for lunch, date night, corporate events, or even a late-night cocktail. A one-of-a-kind spot for sports fans and more. Behind Cabela's in La Vista.
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The light is fading, your hands are sore, and the last tool's been put away. Now is the time to feel the satisfaction that comes with a job well done. But when you get your tools from Harbor Freight, something about the job feels a little different. Your wallet. Because we believe that everyone deserves hardworking tools at hardworking prices. And that's what we have here. So, whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wine.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Does your job require you to be on your feet all day? Teachers, postal carriers, salespeople, and restaurant staff. Many of us need our feet to get us through the day. I'd like you to hear from Donna. She's a nurse and a real customer of the Good Feet store who wanted to share her story.
Oh, I have to tell you, I have struggled with pain in my feet. I was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis. I work in a hospital. I'm a registered nurse, so being on my feet, walking throughout the hospital during the day, I am free from any type of pain. And after working a 12-hour shift, I go home and my feet do not hurt.
Whether you're a nurse like Donna or anyone wanting to enjoy work without your feet getting in the way, come see us today. Visit the store at 27th and Pine Lake Road across from South Point Mall or book your free fitting at goodfeet.com. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. The only place to get the Good Feet solution is at the Good Feet store. Come in for a free test walk today.
Find what you love what.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Back here at Zipline, it's Hail Varsity Road Show College World Series. I think all of Florida has taken down the tap room here at Zipline, right across from the ballpark. We welcome in Tim Verghese, Joba Chamberlain, Elijah Herbel, Chris Schmidt, Will Wilson back at our studios inside Nebraska. Rivals.com's Tim Verghese with us at Tim Verghese on Twitter. Tim, excellent coverage, my friend, this weekend in Nebraska's official visits this weekend. Some unofficial visits this weekend. I want to start you off, bud, with just reaction to Malcolm Simpson, Houston area. We're talking a pass rusher at 6'3", right around 240. And your take on what Nebraska got and the connection with Simpson, who had some big-time suitors. How did Coach Pot Roast make it stick?
Yeah. This is one that came together kind of quick for Nebraska. Can y'all hear me okay? All good?
No, you're good. That's a me thing.
Sweet. It came together kind of quick for Nebraska. Offered last month, like you mentioned, had some big time suitors, had some programs, Texas, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, LSU. They were all monitoring him. They were kind of close. They wanted to check some last boxes with him, but ultimately they didn't even get that opportunity because Nebraska offered last month. Knighton built that relationship. He came on campus. Just really enjoyed his time here. Felt like it was a different vibe than every other school he'd been to. Just felt like he was immediately embraced by the community. Talk with multiple players. Like I mentioned, I think last week, Tyson Terry's been peer recruiting him. So Tyson, spent some time on an unofficial visit on campus and hung out with him, helped him get in the boat. Dylan Raiola did his part here too. Terrence Knighton, Coach Rule, and that's a recurring theme from guys coming out of this weekend has been, it just feels different here. It's a real family atmosphere here. It's a real, that's something that, we've mentioned in the past, that keeps popping up when we talk to guys that come and visit Nebraska. That's Nebraska's biggest selling point right now, more so than the facilities, more so, than Dylan Raiola, more so than anything. It's, you're going to be treated well here, you're going to be taken care of, and you're going to be embraced by this entire program. And go ahead.
Continue, Tim.
In terms of what Nebraska's getting here, in terms of the player, powerful, athletic lineman. I saw Malcolm back in the fall when I was down in Texas, and then I saw him again in the spring at the Under Armour Houston camp. Versatile lineman. You can kind of see Nebraska and Coach Knighton specifically is trying to build a D line of guys that can line up at all three spots. They've told Malcolm, you probably start off at defensive end, but you can slide and play nose. At the high school level, he played some nose last year, which is rare at his size. But he's willing to take on these double team blocks, can hold his own against him, has the power to get through, has the athleticism to get by. Watch his basketball tape. This is a guy at 6'4". When I called him on the phone right before he committed, I asked him, we need an updated weight on you, man, because you're not 240 anymore. He's 262 now. So he's 6'3", 262, probably going to get up to 270, 280 by the time he's on campus. If not, once he's on campus, they'll get him up to that weight. But he's dunking, man. You watch his basketball tape. He's soaring above the rim on the defensive end of the glass. He's like going up there like LeBron and just blocking it off the glass. Like really impressive athlete. A guy that can contribute all over the line. I think he's going to have a chance to kind of pop in, kind of contribute early, kind of like Cam Leonard did.
So Tim, so what do you think when we get these guys in? What do you think actually truly genuinely sells them of coming to Nebraska? And you've seen them all. Mm-hmm. And you've seen the special ones that is going to make our program special. What do you think separates us from everybody else? Do you think it's that like you said, that family environment, or is it facilities, or what do you think from that aspect of getting these special players to get here?
It's a combination of things. I think more than anything, what has continued to resound, what I continue to hear from guys is like that family atmosphere. Like they feel that culture when they come on campus. I was talking about it this morning with Damon. It's with the previous staff, with the Frost staff, there were position groups that were close. The tight end, the offensive line room was really close. The cornerbacks room, the DBs room was really close. Travis Fisher did a good job building a culture in that individual room. But now it's the whole team is close. It's like the whole team. It's a whole culture, that permeates throughout the entire team, and when we've witnessed it, we've been on campus these last 2 weeks for camps, seeing, the current players volunteering, helping run these camps. And it's like there's no reason for the cornerbacks and like the offensive tackles to be interacting, but here they are, like running over to each other, dapping each other up, like having some fun, in between, like as they're rotating around camps. These guys just get along. They really understand each other. Rule and the staff have done a really good job of establishing a culture and then bringing guys in that fit that culture, that help build that culture up. To Dylan's credit, like I know people had questions when he was coming in, like how bought in would he be? He's been one of the leaders of this thing, man. He's been like a leader in terms of bringing these new recruits in, letting them, like experience life through his eyes, allowing, he's had guys just come in and just like stop by his dorm so they can see what freshman living's like. He's helped guys like give them a reason. Hey, this is why you should come to Nebraska. Like, hey, I'm going to be the starting quarterback here, but it's not about me. It's about the program that we're building here. He's done a really good job kind of setting that standard in terms of establishing that culture too.
Tim, take me back to the college days. What are some keys to a good freshman dorm?
Ooh.
Hey, I need this help too because my son's going to be a freshman in college.
Fridge and a cool RA.
Ooh, yes, a cool RA is really important. I'll say this, like I remember going back to my freshman dorm. I brought up my old PS3. I had NCAA 14. We just fired that up. That was our thing, like that whole freshman year, just getting that in. Drinks of your choice in the fridge. I'm not going to promote, whatever, but drinks of your choice in the fridge. Just gotta keep it rolling. But I think those are the three keys.
It's Tim Verghese with us here, Hail Varsity Radio, as we shift back here and talk some more recruiting following the commitment of Malcolm Simpson. And Tim, from a defensive line point of view, Nebraska's got Tyson Terry in. They have Malcolm Simpson in. From a numbers point of view, you see any more our defensive linemen joining this class? Are there any other names to watch out for? Does Nebraska feel good with two? Where do you think they go along the defensive line?
Yeah, they've got a couple more out there. I think in terms of what's left on the board, it's a lot of those edge, like defensive end / jack linebacker bodies that are left. Nicholas Clayton's one. He OV'd in May. He's doing his making the rounds this month, making 3-4 more OVs, and then he'll make a decision probably closer to the end of this month. Nebraska still feels good there, but they're battling some stiff competition. They lost out on Jaden Lofton. They lost out on Jalen Williams. I think the staff is really looking for a guy they can kind of plug in at nose, specifically that interior to kind of replace Nash and Ty are gone after this year. They're trying to find someone that can kind of come in and at least be a rotational body. One I would keep an eye on, just potentially, just a name, throwing it out there. Oklahoma holds a commitment from Kamori Moore. He's a defensive lineman out of Lee Summit North. We've just heard some talk that he might be open to looking around this summer, maybe into the fall, kind of exploring some other options. And when he committed to Oklahoma last summer, Nebraska finished second. So, I wonder if Nebraska goes back in there. That's a guy's like 6'1", 300 pounds, would fit kind of what they're looking for in the interior.
Tim Verghese with us inside Nebraska Rivals.com, Hail Varsity Radio Roadshow here. College World Series staring us in the face. The Chuck just outside our window. We're here on the top level at Zipline, downtown tap room. Tim, Christian Jones is there. Talk of Christian maybe extending his timeline. I know he was at Oklahoma, and then he came to Lincoln. What's next with Mr. Jones?
Yeah, I've kind of maintained. I think he's playing this process out very fluidly. He doesn't exactly have an established timeline, and that's not something that's changed coming out of the Nebraska visit this past weekend. It's not he's suddenly extending it or anything. I think people are just reaching out to him after that visit, and he's like, I might push this through the fall. I went and saw Christian 2 weeks ago. He told me the same thing then. Nothing changed. It's just he's taking his time with this process. And me personally, I think this benefits Nebraska. After this, especially after this official visit, he's seen everything Nebraska has to offer. There isn't anything left Nebraska can show him from a relationships, from a facility, from a here's this cool new feature that would finally help us land Christian. There's none of that. That's not going to happen. The only thing that Christian Jones really wants to see from Nebraska at this point is on-field improvement. That's the one thing they have left to show him. So him pushing it into the fall, if he chooses to do that, is not the worst thing for Nebraska, especially if Nebraska gets off to a hot start this season. I wouldn't be surprised they start off, 5-1, 4-2, whatever. He finds himself in that boat after that. But at the same time, I did hear this visit went well. I do continue to hear, I think it's going to be tough to beat Nebraska. They've been in this recruitment for so long. He's got so many relationships on campus. Like I said, the one thing he just wants to check that box off is just make sure what they're talking about in terms of the program they're building is proving itself on the field. The results are actually happening. And so, we could see a decision this summer. He could just be like, you know what? I don't need to wait and see. I believe in the staff. I'm going to lock it down now. But if he pushes it into the fall, I wouldn't be worried about it necessarily. The only way I'd start to feel worried about Christian Jones in Nebraska at this point is if they have a bad start to the season. Like if the season does go off the rails kind of early, which I don't think will happen, just personally. But if that does somehow happen, that's when I'd start to kind of get concerned about Nebraska and Jones.
Tim, another linebacker, Dawson Merritt. We've been hearing a lot about these two names, Dawson Merritt, along with Christian Jones over the past couple of weeks or so. Nebraska going for two big fish in the linebacker room. From a national point of view, if Nebraska was able to land both of those, what kind of splash do you think that makes nationally in recruiting circles?
It's huge. It's huge. Those are two linebackers that were coveted by the best of the best. Like Christian had all those SEC offers, had Notre Dame in there, had USC in there, has all these Oklahoma in there, all these schools that really, really want him. And Dawson, that would be a head-to-head win over Alabama. This is a guy that Bama really wants, a guy that Bama said, hey, in our new defense, the Wolf position is that focal point of our defense, and we want you to man that spot. So if Nebraska is somehow able to beat that, which they've done a really good job, I've heard over the last couple of days, of gaining back that momentum on Bama, coming out of that Bama OV, Bama, I mentioned it on here a couple of weeks ago, but every time he's gone to Bama, it feels like coming out of that, Bama's the team to beat. And then he comes to Nebraska, and then it flips back that way. So the fact that he didn't immediately commit after that Bama visit gave Nebraska that opportunity to kind of get him on the phone, call him, check in, it's not confirmed. We've heard some rumors he may have snuck into town this past weekend. I haven't heard anything to like fully back that up, but we have heard those rumors, and it wouldn't necessarily surprise me if, he found his way back in town just to get one last look at Nebraska before he makes that final decision. But it would be huge getting those two. It would be arguably the best linebacker class in the Big Ten. Only Wisconsin would match. Wisconsin's done a good job at that position, but it would be huge.
Tim, a little overtime here. Hang tight for us, all right?
Yep, all good.
Hi, this is Connor Clark, voice of the Lincoln Salt Dogs. Catch Salt Dogs baseball games home and away all summer long right here.
FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR.
News. Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at Metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Capital Arborist is your tree service in Lincoln with the experience and expertise to handle all your arboreal needs. More than just tree trimming, Capital Arborist is a member of the Nebraska Arborist Association. Call 402-466-0160 or capitalarborist.com for a free estimate.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
And now,
back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you. We're here at Zipline Hail Varsity Roadshow College World Series. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, Husker great two-time World Series champ Joba Chamberlain, Tim Verghese, Inside Nebraska, and, of course, Rivals.com. Will Wilson back at our studios as we're doing a recruiting recap with Tim. Great work with Inside Nebraska. We've hit Christian Jones. We've talked Malcolm Simpson. Nebraska's get over the weekend. Dawson Merritt, did he sneak into town or not? Inquiring minds want to know. And Tim, I want to go to one of the linemen. Nebraska's had so many offensive linemen visit. Donnie Raiola's done a tremendous job. One of these kids that has the Nebraska connection with Coach Tony Finotti is Brian Tapu out of Salt Lake, and he's a four-star dude. What are you hearing about Tapu? And then any other radar, or I should say offensive linemen, big guys on the radar here for Nebraska trying to close out 2025?
Yeah, they knocked it out of the park with Tapu. That visit went about as well as it could. He's got one more official visit to Oregon State this coming weekend, and then a decision expected shortly after that. I put it on our board yesterday. I was like, I'm putting in a future cast for Nebraska. I think Nebraska wins this one out. Nebraska flew in his family from New Zealand. He's originally from New Zealand. He hasn't seen his parents since moving to the country prior to playing his junior year in Utah. So this was his first time seeing his family in Lincoln all together. So it meant a lot for him that Nebraska did that, was able to get his parents out, and then they were able to also fly him with his parents back to New Zealand. They're going to spend a couple of days back home, and then they'll fly together to Oregon State. So Nebraska did well with just the fact that the parents were there. And I asked them kind of, what did your parents think about the visit? And they were like, my parents feel comfortable. They trust Coach Rule. They trust Coach Raiola with keeping me safe, keeping me comfortable, getting me developed. And he understands as well, he's raw. He's only played 1 year of football. He kind of understands what he's getting into at Nebraska, or what he'd be getting into at Nebraska. He's a developmental guy. He knows that. He's like, they haven't really talked about position with me, whether I'm outside, inside. They've kind of just talked about, we're going to take, he's raw. He's only played 1 year of football. So the goal is, get him in, work with him for a year or two on his technique, work with him on getting him ready. And he's like, they want the best on the field. Until I get to that level, I understand I'm not going to see the field. And then when that time does come, I'm open to playing offensive tackle, offensive guard, whatever they see best for me. Nebraska did a really good job there. And I think this is one that kind of goes under the radar. Nebraska loves to find these guys that they can develop. And this is one of those with extremely high upside that, in 2-3 years could really be like a really good offensive tackle.
So Tim,
go ahead.
My question for you is, like, when we're bringing in that type of talent and doing those things, what do you think impacts them the most? And you've brought it up too, in seeing the direction of way the program is going to go. So what do you think impacts these kids and families at that aspect of coming from wherever you're coming from to Lincoln, Nebraska, and knowing what they can do or whatever, but knowing that we, haven't got to the point that we want to get to?
Right.
You think brings those then?
Right. For them, it's the history, the tradition, and then Matt Rule's resume, the rest of the staff's resume in terms of what they've been able to do in terms of development. Even some of the unproven guys on staff, like Terrence Knighton, has all those years in the NFL he can go back and point to, and while he doesn't necessarily have the coaching resume that some of the others on staff do, Garrett McGuire's another one, doesn't necessarily have the coaching resume that these guys do. They've been in it, they've been in this sport for a long time. They know how it works. They understand the sport. They understand how to build relationships. They understand how to develop. And then reps, man. The one thing here with Nebraska can always promise these guys is you're going to get reps. That's not necessarily a guarantee at other programs. You come in a little out of shape. You come in a little underweight and, not living up to the coach's expectations, you find yourself kind of buried and just stuck on the sideline. The coaches are just like, hey, we'll get you in when we get you in. But here at Nebraska, you saw in the spring, the way they're rotating these teams, these three kind of sub teams, the way they rotate those teams across and do what they do with those guys. Everyone's getting equal amount of reps. Everyone's getting that opportunity to be on the field, get that development, and have a fair shot of seeing the field. That's all they want. They want a fair shot, and Nebraska's giving that to them. And there's no bias, at least from what we've been talking about. There's not been a bias in terms of we're playing one guy over another, even though one guy's playing better in practice.
It's Tim Verghese with us here on Hail Varsity Radio. Find him on Twitter at Tim Verghese. Tim, as we talk about getting kids on campus, can you take us through the upcoming visit weekend? It's a weekend that looks a little bit different in terms of the names that we're expecting to see compared to whenever we talked last week. I know you had a new name earlier today that you reported is going to be in town this weekend. Can you take us through some of the names to follow, some of the names to watch, the guys that are going to be in Lincoln for the upcoming visit weekend?
Yeah, it's a big weekend for the commits. Most every commit except for a handful are in town. They're all making their official visits kind of at the same time. Nebraska's hoping to get those guys in town to help peer recruit, but also give them that OV experience. This is kind of the weekend for Nebraska. The headliner, I would say, is Chase Lofton, in-state 4-star tight end, coming off some pretty big visits to Texas A&M, Florida State, and Missouri. I've said it before, say it again. I keep a real close eye on Texas A&M here. They've done a really good job. Christian Ellsworth, former Nebraska assistant, now with Texas A&M. They've maintained that relationship. Colin Klein, former Kansas State offensive coordinator, now the offensive coordinator at Texas A&M. Chase's older brother, Braden, plays at Kansas State, so they have an established relationship. Chase was being recruited by Kansas State when Klein was there. So there's multiple relationships working in A&M's favor. And, he's a kid that's at one point I would say was almost 100% certainly going to Nebraska, but his recruitment kind of exploded to that national level this spring. He's had an opportunity to kind of explore some of these options, went out to Florida State, went out to Texas A&M, and he's genuinely intrigued in, what these national programs kind of have to offer, and I get it, like a kid that's grown up in the Omaha area his own life, grown up in Nebraska his whole life, I understand wanting to go and see something different. Nebraska's done a good job there. I think, kind of read between the lines on Riemann Ziebert opting to commit somewhere else, even though he had a committable Nebraska offer. Kind of what that could potentially mean for Nebraska and Lofton. I don't think this necessarily gets done this weekend or anything, but Nebraska's going to have a chance to impress there. Another big one, Michael Riles out of Texas. He's coming in, another edge rusher. Kind of, we talked about like those edge hybrid types they're looking for. Riles is one that has kind of an all over the place recruitment right now. This is going to be his first visit to Nebraska. Nebraska's going to have a chance to impress and potentially, what they're hoping is the same thing that happened with Malcolm Simpson. Get the guy on campus. He's blown away by the atmosphere. He's blown away by the culture, and just leaves committed. That's their hope, at least. And then, one I noted today is coming into town, a kind of an interesting one. A guy that I've been on for a while, kind of slipped under a lot of people's radars, has two P4 offers, Nebraska and Louisville. 6'6" hybrid safety linebacker Jeremiah Jones out of Kentucky. He plays everything at his high school. He plays some quarterback, he plays some wide receiver, he plays some linebacker, he plays some safety, does a little bit of everything. Translates best to kind of that rover position in Nebraska's defense, kind of what Isaac Gifford plays right now, kind of Javen Wright type role. Home state Louisville's kind of the favorite there, but I'd keep a close eye on Nebraska this weekend. I think there's a chance, he kind of comes in, has a good visit, and could potentially pop. Just something to keep an eye on there. And then the other DB, I I'd keep an eye on Noah King. He was recently offered just like 2 weeks ago by the staff, coming back down for an OV. He's been texting me all week and kind of asking about Nebraska's DB board, kind of Nebraska's DB room. He wants to get a feel for kind of what that room looks like, where he'd fit in. I'm like, listen, I'm not the best person to ask. Probably talk to Coach Cooper about that. But I, like kind of where he'd fit in. But he's really. That just tells you kind of how interested he is in Nebraska right now. The fact that he's reaching out just to as many resources as possible to figure out where he kind of fit into that room. This is one that I think could move fast. I'd put in a future cast for Nebraska there as well.
Tim Verghese, inside NebraskaRivals.com. Tim, your nails as always, bud. Thank you so much for the time today.
Of course, appreciate y'all.
Trust is a foundation of any strong relationship. It's earned every day.
At 1011, it's the way we cover the community we call home.
Working hard to fact check, verify, and get the story right.
It means alerting you first to severe weather and preparing for what's ahead.
It's telling the stories that bring us together and make us proud to be Nebraskan.
Trust Cole Miller, Madison Pitch, Chief Meteorologist Ken Shumick, and Sports Director Kevin Suits. The most watched, the most trusted. That's 1011.
Because you want to hear bacon and eggs on your outdoor griddle, not the scraping of rust. Introducing the Weber Slate Rust-Resistant Griddle. Stays ready, not rusty, with a carbon steel cooktop, pre-seasoned and ready to cook on right out of the box. The Weber Slate heats evenly edge to edge up to 500 degrees. All you'll hear is the gasp of amazement from friends and family when you serve the food. Cooking with the Weber Slate Rust-Resistant Griddle just sounds delicious and tastes even better.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor, an indexed annuity tied to growth in the stock market, but without any risk of loss ever. It's guaranteed money for life income, no matter how long you live. Call 888-509-2228. 888-509-2228. Sponsored by GP Agency, Inc., Raleigh, North Carolina. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult with your financial professional before making an investment decision.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Ask Forsyth.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Some overtime there with Tim Verghese inside NebraskaRivals.com. Big thanks to Tim. Can hear that. Spotify, iTunes, Google Play will have both segments of Tim Verghese posted up on the audio side. Video, you can always like and subscribe. Find Hail Varsity Radio on the YouTube channel. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, Joba Chamberlain with us, celebrating another fantastic day, a one-run ball game. Florida survives and advances. NC State going home after a tough history for them with the College World Series, but love the effort from the Wolfpack. Coming up tonight, you'll have Kentucky and Texas A&M. Moonbot, check it in and give
that was your pick, Elijah, by the way.
Thumbs up to,
I'm aware.
To Tim, always spitting facts. Tim is good stuff for sure. Doug is in. Listening on the stream. Reminder to get buckled up. Use your seatbelt. It saves lives. It prevents injuries only if properly worn. Make it click. A message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We're 10 minutes away. Mr. Blackshirt Charlie McBride joins us. And Jay Moore will talk some Big Red football and also dive into the PGA and what happened with the U.S. Open. Rory has put a statement out. Joba, how many putts from 4 feet? The final. You have an intense game of golf going. You're leading, and of the last 3 holes, you oopsie a couple of putts. Ever happened?
The legs are always shaking when you get to that point.
Comment.
Yeah, it's not. I suck at golf, so
Yes.
it doesn't really
So it happens to all of us.
I can't compare.
It just doesn't happen on that stage to dudes like that. You don't see it. You don't expect it from Rory.
And on both sides, though. Like you saw from Bryson, too.
And he had that sand shot?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
You saw it from Rory as well. And, I mean, the crazy part is just like when they look at it and as we talk about sports and what we do, we're still human. Like we still make mistakes. Like that should be an easy putt. We're professionals. Oh, you can't throw a strike. Well, sometimes it's not that easy. Oh, you missed a 3-foot putt. Sometimes it's not that easy. And it is just, and that's the thing that I love. Like as I have grown away from the game, is seeing it because now people are like, I go, we're still human. Like we still like just because you see us on TV and you see all this
because you appear larger than life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we still fail. Like we still fail, and that is life in general. But you just happen to get to see it every day. That
it's made to look easy. It's made to look real easy. Will Wilson. You're dynamite from inside 3, aren't you?
Yeah. Before I have a few beers, yeah.
Do we know what Rory did at the turn?
Is there an IV involved?
Yeah. All I know is next time I go golfing with Schmidt, if he's within 3 feet and says, "This is a gimme, right? I can pick this up." I say, "No." Are you Rory?
No. No chance.
Oh, I'm inside 3 feet. It's a 3-putt, baby. That's what's going on.
Schmitty, we need to do one. Me and Carter versus you and Junior.
No. All right, hour 2 coming up. We're here at Zipline.
I got my money on Schmitty.
I got my money on the Chamberlain. I'm going to bet against my kid. All right, hour 2's on the way.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The light is fading, your hands are sore, and the last tool's been put away. Now is the time to feel the satisfaction that comes with a job well done. But when you get your tools from Harbor Freight, something about the job feels a little different. Your wallet. Because we believe that everyone deserves hardworking tools at hardworking prices. And that's what we have here. So, whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Have you been wanting to find the secret to losing weight and getting healthy the natural way without drugs or injections? Hi, this is Dr. K with Lincoln Weight Loss, and we know the secret to losing a half a pound to a pound of fat every day naturally, safely, and effectively without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no hormones, no injections, no drugs or surgery. Go to LincolnWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's Schmitty here. This heat has me craving summer fun. Poolside afternoons, weekends on the course, and evening patio parties. I can do all of these activities and enjoy them just a bit more now that I've shed my unwanted pounds with the help of Lincoln Weight Loss. Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. For your free consultation, call 402-520-8170 or go to LincolnWeightLoss.com. Their staff will walk you through the entire program. Talk about your health goals and see if it's a good fit for you.
This is your station for local news, talk, sports, and weather. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR, Lincoln.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. California firefighters have gained ground against a wildfire that caused evacuations of campers in the mountains north of Los Angeles. And near there is where ABC's Alex Stone is.
To give you an idea of how big this fire is, driving about a 10-mile stretch of Interstate 5, the fire blackened land in those 10 miles as it ran over the weekend. Today, it's still windy here, but the flames have laid way down. Firefighters still have a lot of work to do. In front of me, there's a car repair shop in the area where the fire started. The cars are all burned out. There's a McDonald's next door. It's open and serving food like a normal day. Alex Stone, ABC News in Gorman, California.
A prolonged, excessive, potentially record-breaking, and dangerous heat wave is in the forecast from the Midwest to the Northeast this week. Senate Democrats set to advance legislation to ban bump stocks. The vote could come as soon as tomorrow. It follows the Supreme Court ruling last week striking down a Trump-era ban. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
They have struck down freedom of choice, environmental protections, affirmative action, fair redistricting, gun safety, and more. The MAGA Supreme Court is now even further to the right of Donald Trump, who's very hard right himself.
NATO is in talks to deploy more nuclear weapons in the face of growing threats from China and Russia, says Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg in an exclusive interview with The Telegraph, the British newspaper. Some, including former President Trump, used to complain that NATO countries weren't paying their fair share of expenses for the military alliance. Stoltenberg today.
This will reduce the burden on the United States and strengthen our support to Ukraine. I think it's important to understand that the stronger our support for Ukraine is, the sooner this war can end.
Promising more money from every member of the NATO alliance. You're listening to ABC News.
Progressive presents 10 things on a plumber's to-do list that are harder than getting a small business insurance quote. Waking up for 5 a.m. plumbing disasters, finding out why water is pouring from the ceiling, replacing a pipe in a home from the 1800s, then dealing with invoices or your awkward apprentice or that really weird smell, and then there's breathing and eating, and of course, clogs. But the easiest thing on any small business owner's to-do list, seeing if you could save on the business insurance that's right for you. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Lincoln man convicted of shooting at caseworkers receives his jail sentence. Hello, I'm Will Wilson, KFOR News. It's 91 degrees at KFOR. It's 25 to 42 years in prison for Brent Lopez of Lincoln after he was found guilty and convicted of shooting at 2 caseworkers with the Department of Health and Human Services last year at his home near 7th and Y Streets. The incident on September 26 happened 2 days after Lopez was cited for misdemeanor assault at the Air Park Rec Center, where he got into a fight with 2 teenagers. Lopez was working at the rec center and lost his job as a result. The DHHS workers were following up at Lopez's home as part of a child welfare check. Lopez claimed he thought the 2 DHHS workers were police officers and that he was under attack when he fired shots at the caseworkers, injuring one of them. The 28-year-old worker wounded was not seriously hurt. A Chevy Malibu stolen last Wednesday from an East Lincoln parking lot was recovered by police after it was tracked down Sunday evening. The car was taken last Wednesday from a parking lot north of 70th and A, and as officers on Sunday were going to a disturbance call near 18th and Knox, an officer saw the car, ran the plates, and realized it was the same stolen car. An attempted traffic stop happened near 21st and A, and officers tracked down the vehicle to 16th and Knox, where 21-year-old Markel Wilson was taken into custody.
For theft by receiving stolen property, flee to avoid arrest, and habitual criminal, willful reckless driving.
Wilson was also cited for having no driver's license and an open alcohol container. Nebraska's 2 oldest wind generators will be decommissioned by Lincoln Electric System in early July. In a release, Lincoln Electric System said the first wind turbine, a half-mile north of Interstate 80 on 70th Street, is already out of service due to a mechanical issue. It also sits on the proposed site for the new state prison. Lincoln Electric System Manager of Resource and Transmission Planning, Scott Benson, tells KFOR News they won't be installing new turbines anytime soon.
So we're not looking to install any new wind turbines right here in this local area, primarily because this isn't a great spot for wind.
Read more at KFORnow.com. Partly cloudy tonight with a low near 77. I'm Will Wilson, KFOR News.
Have you heard heard the news today?
A major heat wave is bearing down on 100 million Americans from the Midwest to the East Coast. With the debate next week, Biden and Trump are cranking up the attacks with millions in advertising. Over 15,000 acres have been torched by wildfires around Los Angeles, with only 8% contained.
You'll know everything when you stay connected.
On air and on demand, 24/7. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR.
Keep up with the local news, sports, your favorite talk shows, and pro shows on KFOR wherever you roam. Stream us 24/7 at KFORnow.com. Or on your mobile.
This is Christian Peter. I'm sorry, but the stories I have about Charlie are not appropriate for the public.
The right case of the Mondays. It's Mr. Blackshirt, Charlie McBride, on Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you, it's hour 2. It's Hail Varsity, powered by Cornhead Lager. We're on the road here at the College World Series, staring the entrance of Charles Schwab Field right in front of us as we peer out a window below us. All sorts of Kentucky, all sorts of A&M, all sorts of happy Florida fans as they have survived. We're here at Zipline Tap Room downtown here, just across from Charles Schwab Field. We welcome in Mr. Blackshirt himself, Charlie McBride with us, Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, Joba Chamberlain with us on site, Will Wilson back in studio. Coach, how was the weekend? Thanks for giving us a few minutes today. What do you know?
It was great. I was watching the Florida game with NC State, and I ended up sleeping outside at 5 o'clock because we have a requirement at 5 o'clock with the neighbors. And they go outside, and I'm getting a lot of feedback. I can't even get myself talk.
You're fine. We will get that fixed in 2 seconds, Coach. Hang tight on that.
Are they all jumping around out there?
They are. They're having a good. Those Gator fans are having a good time. They get to stick around and drink more beer.
That's right. Well, I tell you what, that's what when you win, that's when you sell a lot of beer.
Yes, you do. Coach, I'm going to ask you this, and it's going to be an important situation for Nebraska football, and that is, and Matt Rule has talked about it in interviews before, but the ability to let the kids, the players, they cut it loose, Coach. They cut it loose in big-time moments when the game is on the line. How difficult is it to get your team up to that level where they're just so confident they know they're going to go make the right play?
Well, that's a hard thing to do because, if you get overconfident and things go bad, that can be really hurt. It can be really hurt you, and can you hear me?
Yeah.
Got you loud and clear. You're perfect.
Yeah, when things go bad, if they do go bad, it really is hard on the players. And, and all this hype that's being created, it isn't by the players, and I think he's trying to kind of hold it down a little bit, so I think he realized that it's gotten to be a little bit out of hand, and trying to do it slowly rather than just drop a hammer on it. And try to get it so that people are realistic. And if you're realistic, and you can win some games, I'm not going to say how many because I've never won that, but you usually end up winning more games. And I just felt like that when we had our players the players dictated the height. And I don't see our players talking anything about anything but working hard.
Charlie McBride's with us here on Hail Varsity Radio, and that is a strange animal to tame, that hype monster, and it keeps growing, doesn't it?
Well, a lot of times other schools supply the energy for it. You know, they can.
Yeah.
You know, like I saw the other day in the paper where the guy at Colorado is all upset because they're picked to lose the first 4 games, and in our paper we're picked to lose to Colorado. So what do you? I mean, you know, those kind of things are newspaper stuff, and I just never looked at that. I knew what it was for. You have to write something, and you have to take a side. And it's like, Joe, you take this side, you take the other side, and we'll put it in the newspaper, and you fight against each other, whatever the case is. But I think that the players will some of the older guys control that, a lot of it.
It's Coach Charlie McBride with us here on Hail Varsity Radio. And Coach, were you the type of guy that specifically wanted to keep that noise away from your team, what they're saying in the newspapers? We've seen coaches approach it in different ways where it feels like every single year Kirby Smart turns around and tells Georgia, hey, look what they're saying about us in the newspapers. They think we're not anything this year. Let's go win another national title. You have other coaches that try to shut down the noise. Is there a right and a wrong time to try to use what the media says is motivation and when to use it? I guess try to keep it out of the building.
Well, it's quiet part.
Do we lose, Coach?
The whole thing. Inside the shell. Inside. Can you hear me?
Nope, we got you now. We'll repeat the question real quick, Coach. Sorry about that.
He was answering it, I think.
Oh, that's okay. I was.
Continue, Charlie. Sorry.
You got 2 good leaders on defense. Let's just put it that way. They're going to control a lot of things. They're going to tell the players the way it is, and they'll help. You get to the situation where you can't control a lot of the stuff coming from the outside. Your team is going to be dependent on what the inside does, not what the outside does. And if it does, you got a problem. But we have good enough leaders on our team right now that are there, that been through it, and they will control anything that comes up. They'll take care of it. And that's where my faith would always go.
Charlie McBride's with us, Hail Varsity Radio. Coach, we have another Ask Charlie, and this is in from Matthew. Matthew in the stream on YouTube with Hail Varsity YouTube. He wants to know what you think about Coach Tony White and his aggressive philosophy on defense.
They want to know
what you think. Well, what do you think of Tony White and his philosophy on defense? What are you comfortable running in with his defense against offenses today? Was that better?
Yep. It's so loud. The beer must be really getting to him.
I will turn my mic off and we'll see if that helps.
Go ahead, start again with the black.
Well, yeah. With Tony White's defense, his philosophy, what do you think of his philosophy being aggressive on defense?
around our defense or theirs?
Nebraska's defense, yes.
Right now?
Yep, this upcoming season.
I think that he's doing a good. One thing I think he's doing is a good job where the players are talking about the team themselves, and he talks when he has to. I mean, you just have to talk sometimes. But the players are going to guide the way it is, and it seems to me, again, I say the same thing, and there's enough mature people on that staff to lead everybody in the right direction. They're going to say good things and keep their mouth shut when the bad things come up. And that's the important thing. I think, too, if you talk about all that talk about winning and all the push, win national championships, you don't think about that. You think about winning football games one at a time, playing as hard as you can, keeping yourself healthy as you can. I think that's pretty important. The Blackshirt defense is probably a little more knowledgeable of the defense right now. There's going to be some young kids on it, but I will say one thing. I said something to the people that drafted Mike Brown to the Bears. Said, in 3 weeks, he'll be telling the veterans what to do. And we have a lot of veterans. They'll be telling those young guys what to do. And even during the game and on the sideline, things like that. And that's when those kids feel like putting it loose and playing. Coaches can say a lot of stuff, but I think it really comes. I really those guys.
Coach, that was good stuff. We're going to cut her short just because of the elements here.
Don't blame me for that one.
No, I appreciate you much. We will check in with you on next Monday. Okay, we'll get it fixed on our end. We'll feed the hamster.
Okay, well, have a good time, but keep your eye, keep out of the juice. Okay.
I will. I'm behaving. I promise you. Appreciate you. There we go,
okay.
Coach McBride.
Have fun, will you?
Will do, Coach. There he is, Mr. Blackshirt, Charlie McBride. A Monday with Charlie cutting it short there. But it's, I don't know, it's just raging downstairs. We're in the loft area here at Zipline. And good times. Florida fans are happy. Good insight by Uncle Charlie on just that hype monster.
Yeah, and you talk about the raging downstairs that's going on here at Zipline Brewery. Did you realize this is the first year I've seen this? They have a hot dog stand here. You can go to the back and buy yourself some custom hot dogs. Yeah, right down here below us, Joba. They got hot dogs down there. I was hoping maybe they got hot dogs with nacho cheese on top. That could really get me going on a Monday afternoon.
So nacho
cheese on a hot dog?
Well,
the best.
It's
the best.
It's good, but I'm still just either give me relish or mustard.
Oh, give me chili.
A Fairberry. Chili?
Chili's a good answer. Chili and nacho cheese.
No. So when you get nachos, do you get queso or do you get shredded cheese?
Queso.
No, because it makes your chips soggy. What's wrong with you?
I can't, queso, nacho cheese, it's the best.
We're going to kick Elijah out.
There is the trend of mayonnaise on hot dogs going around.
Excuse me?
I'm serious.
Schmidt, really?
Yeah, no, that's a thing. It's a TikTok thing.
The one thing I will say, you can use mayonnaise to toast your bun.
Yes.
Much like butter. If it's liquid mayonnaise on my hot dog, pass.
Can't
no,
do it.
thank you. I'll put that on a burger. Mayonnaise on a burger, delicious. Mayonnaise on a hot dog, no.
Will, have you tried mayonnaise on a hot dog?
No, I have not. That's criminal.
Thank you, Will. Thank you.
You're not a communist.
Thank you
I
so
know.
much.
Yes.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
So we're going to try.
We're going to get Elijah out of this.
No,
and then
he's
done.
fine. The nacho cheese, Coach.
He's out.
Coach Foley loves nacho cheese on his hot dogs.
Thank you.
Nebraska special teams coordinator extraordinaire.
If you're at a gas station and they got the little pump for nacho cheese with a hot dog roller,
With
try
nachos, yes.
They'll give it to you for free on the hot dog.
We have Steve has chimed in. Steve sent a picture of Bo Derek to the show and wanted me to educate Elijah. Yeah, Steve, we got your tweet. It was a little creepy, but it worked out okay. Thank you for that. Hey, dude. Schmidt, tell Elijah about Bo Derek from 85.
That's the year I was born.
She was in Tommy Boy, though, which was good.
I was impressed, I will say. Seeing that picture, wow.
Wonderful woman.
Good for her.
Talented actress. So, Matthew, we tried with the Ask Charlie. It's loud as all get out here. Forgive us. And thanks for enduring that. You too, Coach McBride. Appreciate that. We'll see if there's better reception, better acoustics with Jay Moore as Jay Bird's coming back from Wisconsin Dells. He was on the old road trip in a minivan. We will do the minivan update with Jay Moore potentially next segment. That is the hope.
We'll also tell Will where he can find the hamster feed in the studio to go to the back room and feed that hamster that's still spinning away.
Yeah.
Could be getting a little hungry.
We nicknamed him Sosa 20 years ago.
Lo and behold, he's still kicking 20 years later. No hamsters live that long. He might be on his last leg tonight.
Sosa took his vitamins and just kept on that wheel, kept on going. 489-1240 numbers to get in. Can email the show, Chris at hailvarsity.com. Joba Chamberlain with us. You have not flashed the bling yet.
No, because it got stolen.
What?
Not actually. He lent it away for
No, and then we didn't get it back when we left.
Okay, so there was a World Series ring. That's mighty kind of you to lend out your World Series ring to.
It's insured. We're fine. It's okay.
He was trying to get a girl's number, so Joba had to lend it out.
It's insured.
I'm kidding.
We're good.
Jay Moore allegedly on the way next.
The perfect place to go for lunch every day. Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Where can you watch all of your favorite college and professional sports all season long? Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Who's got family-friendly entertainment all throughout the week, including trivia, music bingo, and live music every Friday? Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Hurrdat Sports Bar in La Vista is the spot for lunch, date night, corporate events, or even a late-night cocktail. A one-of-a-kind spot for sports fans and more. Behind Cabela's in La Vista. Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Ask Forsyth Insurance Agency if Auto Owners makes sense for you. Go to ForsythINS.com. That's ForsythINS.com.
Do your dress shoes, casual shoes, boots, and even your sneakers hurt? And are you starting to wonder, isn't there any shoe out there that'll get rid of my foot pain? Well, maybe you don't need a better shoe. Maybe you need better support in your shoes. That's where the Good Feet store can help.
When I went to the doctor and got diagnosed with plantar fasciitis, he told me that I could only wear sneakers. So there went all my summer collection of shoes and all my dress shoes I couldn't wear. It was just too painful, too much foot pain every day. I wanted to take off my shoes as soon as I got home every day. But as soon as I got my arch supports from the Good Feet store, I have no foot pain whatsoever, and I can wear any dress shoe that I want.
Visit the store at 27th and Pine Lake Road across from South Point Mall, or book your free fitting at goodfeet.com. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Summer sandal season is here, and Good Feet fits in all your summer shoes, even flip-flops. Come to the Good Feet store today.
Give your home a beautiful makeover with flooring options from Menards. Update your room with flooring from Tarkett. From easy-to-install sheet vinyl, waterproof vinyl plank, to durable laminate flooring, Tarkett has the perfect style for you. Grovewood laminate flooring is stain, scratch, and dent resistant, and designed with busy families in mind. Save big money on our wide variety of flooring options in-store or on Menards.com for more great deals now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Jazz in June 2024 is here. This iconic free-of-charge music festival makes its return once again on campus, downtown Lincoln. With the area's best food trucks available on site, there's something for everyone.
All-State, 2-year starter, and rush in for the Big Red and NFL vet.
Is Dudeness or Duder or, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
It's Blackshirt Jay Moore with Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you. We're here at Zipline. It's Hail Varsity. We're powered by Cornhead Lager, Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, Joba Chamberlain with us on site, Will Wilson back at our studios. Big thanks to Coach McBride. Great crowd here at Zipline. The tap room is elbow to elbow. A lot of Florida fans, a lot of Kentucky fans, a lot of A&M fans. They're all playing nicely as we speak. And we say
As
hi.
of now.
As of now, right? As of now.
We'll hope for no rain delays tonight.
That's a great hope. Jay Moore with us, Blackshirt Husker NFLer at JMoore44 on Twitter. You watch him. Jaybird, of course, with Big Red wrap-up. Jay, back from vacation. Tell us how the roadie's been. Thanks for the time.
Let's see here. Still putting out cheese curds and spotted cow beer. So a little couple days in Wisconsin were pretty good.
So you got spotted cow. Did you go bandit and bring any back?
We thought about it, but honestly, after being there for a couple days and having it in bottled and having it in draft, getting it in draft was so much better. I'm like, I don't really want it in bottle anymore. So I'll just enjoy it when I go to Wisconsin, which is maybe, I don't know, once every a decade. But no, we did not bring any back. We thought about it, but we held off just because it's just not quite the same as getting on draft.
You're not a good friend, Jay Moore. Thank you.
Well, Jay, tell me, in your opinion, there's plenty of regional beers that people always hype up, Spotted Cow being one of them.
It is good, though. Yingling's money,
I was going to say, Yingling's the other one I think of where I went down south. My dad's like, bring me back 90 Yinglings, please. So is Spotted Cow, in your opinion, the best regional beer? Or is there another better regional beer that you prefer?
Oh, no, there is way better regional beers. So they actually had one in
Busch Light,
Wisconsin. So I had the Spotted Cow, but I also had, so there's a brewery in Munster, Indiana, and you can Google it and map it. It's just on the other side of, just outside of Chicago. And it's called Three Floyd. And they make a killer IPA called Zombie Dust. And they also make a really good, wheat pale ale called Gumball Head. And with Wisconsin being pretty close to Chicago, Zombie Dust, yeah, Zombie Dust, it's fantastic. But Gumball Head is really good. Zombie Dust, they're 8%ers, which is fine, it's fun. But Gumball Head, kind of enjoy for a little longer period of time before you get too blacked out. So I think that is a fantastic, regional beer that's kind of close to us. That I would say 90% of the population don't know about, but I would say that people are super into IPAs and microbrews. That one is fantastic.
Jay Moore, beer connoisseur, with us here on Hail Varsity Radio, powered by Cornhead Lager. We're here at Zipline. So, Jay, I need to know about the defense is obviously something we're always going to talk about. But before we go to football, are you surprised Rory cracked under pressure, or was it more about DeChambeau winning? Did Rory lose it, or did Bryson go win it?
Obviously people want to point at those two putts. I think the one he missed on 16 was a lot easier to make. than the one in 18. I saw him lining up his putt on 18, and I saw where he was lining up. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a 4-foot putt that he's playing a cup of break on, and a left to right one as well, which is harder for right-handers to hit that putt. And it was downhill as well, so you didn't want to give it too much, because if it did miss on the high side, potentially what they call it, a power lip out, where you have more coming back, a 5-6 footer coming back, than you would the 4-footer that you just missed. So I think Bryson missed that one too, but he missed the 6-footer on the same hole. He 3-putted that one on the same hole that Rory missed as well. So I think a little bit of both, but I think in the end of it, I got to tip my cap to Bryson. I think he went out and won it. I think he obviously hit a poor tee shot in 18 and got in that bunker, but that golf shot he hit there, the 55-yard bunker shot, which is the hardest shot to hit in golf, is a long bunker shot, because you can chunk it, you can catch it thin. You just have to nip it perfectly, and he did. And he played a perfect explosion shot. So yeah, Rory still shot 1 under, right? He still put the pressure on it, but I think Bryson, when it came to it, he had to hit a shot and win it, and he did. So both guys played fantastic all week, but I think Bryson definitely won this thing.
Yeah, and Jay, that's where I was going to go with this. I feel like everything about Rory is taken away from Bryson's performance on that back nine to go win it back whenever Rory had the lead. And I was going to go to that shot on 18. You mentioned it briefly. I've seen it called one of the better shots we've seen in a major in recent years. I don't think it eclipses Bubba Watson back in, I think that was 2010.
Masters.
It's at 2010 on hole number 10 when he hits it out of the trees and shapes it beautifully. Mm-hmm. It doesn't eclipse that one. But
out of the crowd.
Yeah, that was one of those shots that I don't think I'll ever forget in my lifetime. 40 years from now, I might forget Bryson out of the bunker on 18 at the U.S. Open. But that being said, still a super impressive shot. What does it mean to you to kind of see this resurgence from Bryson, where he went from liked to disliked, now he's back to liked, and I think he's starting to get his flowers now in the game of golf, and it's kind of evidenced by everyone, not bowing down, but everyone's giving him his credit for that beautiful shot he hit on 18 out of the bunker.
Yeah, I tell you what, when he first came into the game of golf, and whether winning the USAM and in college, but everyone knew who this kid was coming out of SMU, who played single length irons and was just kind of engulfed everything. I think he was a physics major at SMU, so he just took everything, right? No stone goes left unturned with him, and he is doing anything and everything to get better. So you have to appreciate that. Some people, dorkiness, nerd, whatever, but hey, it works for him. And then you saw him, just a few years ago, got obviously the last 5-6 years is about speed, hitting it farther, getting more club head speed. So he bulked up a bunch, wins the U.S. Open at Winged Foot, just a total bomb and gouge type of situation. Reassessed his deal. Obviously joins Live. People are, that moves people the wrong way with Live Golf. Then he kind of just switched his demeanor up a little bit. He's doing a bunch of stuff on YouTube. He's opening himself up. He's not, secluding himself. He's doing videos. He's doing all sorts of stuff. You see him out with, the house he rented in Pinehurst area, like he was out in the cul-de-sac with the neighbors showing off the trophy, right? So like he's just being a human, right? He's just being normal. And I think you saw that at the PGA Championship just a few weeks ago when he tossed that ball to the kid, and then the older gentleman, took it from the kid, and Bryson made sure, hey, that's not for you. That's supposed to be for the kid. So I think he's just he's gaining some more fans, because some people are turned off by the you want to call it the dorkiness, the nerdiness, but
do you think him going to Live made his eyes open a little bit more on how important it is to have the interaction with fans? Because you, as a professional athlete, and you obviously being a legend at Nebraska, and know how important that is and what it means, do you think he finally realized that, and that's kind of why he's kind of come back to what he's doing?
I think it's all encompassing, right? I think the Live thing has something to do with it. I know he turned some people off, but I I think he's just trying to show who he is. And I think you're in the game of golf, momentum is a lot, and getting people on your side it helps when you're especially out there and you're playing in front of, 30,000, people. That obviously that's on the whole golf course, but I'm just in general. And he's just kind of embracing this day and age, right? With social media, YouTube, all these influencers, all this stuff. He's doing all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of it's fun to see. Some people are so in their own circle and don't want people to know what's going on and don't want people to, don't give away any secrets. And he's just kind of open about it. He shows what he's doing. He shows what he's working on. He shows all the different equipment changes he makes. So I think he's just kind of embracing it and just wants to be, I think more Arnold Palmer-esque, right? Arnold kind of was a fan favorite, right? I don't think Bryson's near what Arnie was, but I think he's just trying to get to that point where people, want him to win and want to cheer, for him. And slowly but surely, I don't think he's there yet, but I think he will eventually get there.
Jay Moore's with us, Hail Varsity Radio Road Show here at Zipline College World Series. Jay, going to go to football. Couple of minutes here in this segment. We'll get you out, bud. Thanks for making and taking time. Adrian Martinez, MVP. Adrian Martinez, champion and UFL title game MVP. Does this set him up for a roster spot in the NFL?
Yeah, I think so. He'll for sure get a chance. I wouldn't be surprised if he's somewhere here in the next couple weeks. Someone's going to take a shot on him. You have to. He had such a successful year, and but I think it has to be. It's just not anywhere, right? I think it has to be the right spot with the right offense, or the right coordinator that is willing to utilize his legs and utilize what his talents are. But yeah, I think he's definitely going to be playing somewhere in the preseason, and I think we've discussed before is a successful fall for him is probably making the practice squad with another roster and getting practice reps, and then hopefully getting activated later in the year within that organization, or someone picks you up. So he's had such a good spring with the UFL and just capped it off last night with winning the championship and being the MVP. So I would be completely shocked if he is not somewhere. Honestly, probably by the end of June, I would think he'd be on a roster somewhere within the NFL.
30 seconds, Jay. Would he fit in Frisco?
Oh, would he fit in Frisco?
Yeah, him and Shanahan.
Is it the right?
Yeah,
scheme?
I think so. I think Shanahan would utilize them. I think he has obviously different aspects of what Joba Purdy has. He's a consistent device, sort of curveball their offense. I don't even know, who their backups are. I think it's what's his face that was at USC, then went to Carolina. I'm blanking on his name.
Arnold.
You might see his face. Yeah, but I think that'd be a good fit. I think honestly going to the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh would be a good fit too. But they have Herbert. They have
Easton Stick,
the Creighton Prep kid. Easton, yeah. They had the kid from TCU as well. But kind of half the guys already there. But I think San Francisco is a great spot for him because the backup situation isn't great. I think Kyle Shanahan is so creative and such a good offensive mind that I think he would utilize kind of change stuff to make it work for him.
Jay, we'll check in next week. Thanks again, brother.
Yep, thanks, guys.
See you, Jay.
Hi, this is Connor Clark, voice of the Lincoln Salt Dogs. On Tuesday, the Dogs take on Sioux City. Airtime is at 6:35.
FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR.
Progressive presents 10 things on a food truck owner's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Stocking the fridge, prepping the stations, finding employees that get along well, finding employees that actually do their job. Looking at you, Gary. Balancing the books, balancing the flavors, having a fresh menu and fresh produce and fresh meat, but never a fresh mouth. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Do you get a lonely feeling as you wander around searching for help at some businesses in big, boxy buildings? Hello? Hello? Is anybody out there?
You got your very own handyman to help remodel your home.
You'll always find someone helpful at Handyman Home Remodeling Center.
You'll never feel lost, confused, or ignored.
You'll always be greeted by one of our handy experts.
We're here to answer your questions, provide advice, and stretch your budget.
During June, kitchen sinks and bathtubs are on sale.
It's amazing how updating your bathroom or kitchen can brighten the start to your day.
If you're in search of the latest trends in bathtubs, showers, vanities, sinks, faucets, lighting fixtures, and more,
stop wandering the big boxy wilderness. Come to where you're welcome at Handyman.
Let Google Maps direct you to Handyman for the very best in bathrooms.
Under the arch on Sun Valley Boulevard, Lincoln.
Handyman.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Wyandotte Monday Road Show Zipline right here in the heart of Omaha, right across from Charles Schwab Field. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, Joba Chamberlain with us. Big thanks to Jay Moore and Charlie McBride in hour one. Tim Verghese from inside Nebraska, rivals on Nebraska's big weekend ahead and past weekend on the recruiting front. 489-1240. I love some of the comments in the stream about where can and will Adrian Martinez's landing spot be. Buffalo, Baltimore. I would like to see him teamed up with Shanahan. I think Kansas City.
Kansas City has who's the backup they're paying a good amount to this year? Is it Wentz?
Yeah, they did go get Wentz. I loved Carson Wentz before he blew every ligament he's ever had. But, yeah, Martinez is really refined as a passer. Skip Holtz has done a hell of a job with his offense.
And I could see it, but I'm along with Matthew. And I looked up as we asked Jay that question, I looked up the Ravens depth chart. The Ravens could really use a backup quarterback who can use his legs. Is Adrian Martinez Lamar Jackson? No, definitely not. But also Lamar Jackson tends to have one, maybe two injuries a year that sideline him for a half or sideline him for a game. It'd be a good backup opportunity. I think the Ravens, after they had Tyler Huntley go have a good couple of seasons with them, understand the value of a solid backup quarterback. That might be a good landing spot where is Adrian going to go in competing for a starting job? No, definitely not. Would the Ravens be happy if Adrian Martinez started a game? No, probably not. But do they need a competent backup that can use his legs and play in a similar way?
You need a like quarterback.
It would be the same thing. It would be what obviously he's not Lamar. We get that. But it would be a like quarterback, like you said, Schmidt. Like you're going to get the same thing where he can use his legs in the same way that Lamar does, where you don't really have to rely on all of that.
The one thing Adrian, I think, lacks compared to Lamar Jackson is that true deep ball threat. Whenever you look at some of those weapons that Baltimore's tried to add to get down the seam with Mark Andrews, to get up the sideline with, is that Hollywood Brown?
He's underrated,
Hollywood.
by the way. Mark Andrews is underrated.
He's great. I agree with that. I've had him on my fantasy team 2 of the last 3 years. Super solid, super reliable. Be a great target for Adrian Martinez is all I'm saying.
I mean, as a great tight end.
How about Minnesota, Will Wilson?
Ooh.
Yeah, we can use any quarterback we need, because apparently McCarthy's the second string, which I don't really understand.
I think that means you screwed up your top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Will, we're buying the first round.
Will, sorry, Will.
Thank you.
We're doing that. Let's go back to what happened yesterday with Rory. Good idea by Elijah. Let's talk about a moment that is in your sports mind when the wheels fell off. First one I ever remember witnessing was the miraculous, improbable Bill Buckner moment. How the Mets stole ski mask and gun, stole game 6, won game 7. And I love Bill Buckner, stand-up dude, passed away a few years back, but the Mets somehow won it. And I remember Vin Scully's call to the day I die. The other is Pickett, Wisconsin's second quarter running the football against Nebraska in 2012, 13, or 14. When the wheels fell off defensively for the Big Red, didn't matter what the lead was, and all four came off, and it was grab the whiskey if you're a Nebraska fan.
You could also go any one of the 25-plus Scott Frost one-score losses, but I won't go there because that's low-hanging fruit. I go to Super Bowl 48 with the Broncos and the Seahawks.
The safety?
When the snap flies over Peyton Manning's head, it was done. And then you have the Percy Harvin kickoff return for a touchdown to open the second half. That was one of those things where I had accepted the results of the game by halftime, and it made watching my favorite team lose the Super Bowl so much easier because the wheels fell off in such a spectacular fashion.
Because you were already done at that point.
Yeah, the wheels had fallen off. I could just sit back and enjoy the food that we had made, the spread, watch some commercials. The game didn't matter anymore. That was an ultimate in my lifetime, the wheels have fallen off, it's over moment, where the hope left within the first quarter.
Okay, so let's switch courses. What an aspect is something in a sports venue or a moment that you will never forget? Where either you were there watching or doing anything.
Well, I got to go back. Will, you're a hoops fan. You and I will never forget Wisconsin. Nebraska-Wisconsin at PBA this year. Nebraska broke Wisconsin for a while, paid them back for all the football times where they're down 18. What was Wisconsin ranked? Were they
They were
2?
6th.
Yeah, so it was a second top. I mean, it was your resume and ink moment for Nebraska. A few weeks between taking down number 1 Purdue, and then your 6th man goes off for an unconscious night from 3 before he transfers to A&M.
Well, and let's also lay it out that in terms of wheels fall off moment, the wheels fell off for Wisconsin that game, and those wheels fell off for about the rest of the season.
We needed new tires.
That was an ultimate wheels fall off moment. I go to Nebraska's comeback against Ohio State in 2010, the inaugural home Big Ten game.
When the wheels came on, Joba.
The wheels came on. I mean, you thought in the first half the wheels had come off, and then Rex Burkhead kind of puts the team on his back and wills Nebraska back into that game. Levante David as well. Yeah. That was
game ball till the end of time for Levante.
Right.
Poor Joe Bauserman happened to step in that moment. I don't think the wheels fell off for Ohio State, but Nebraska was able to make a quick pit stop at halftime and get the wheels on that car.
Will, what's yours?
Schmidt nailed it with I'll go back to No Sit Sunday. I mean, that was unbelievable. Even going back, I wasn't there, but how about the Huskers winning the Big Ten championship in baseball? I mean, that was recent, but I love going back to the topic you had about when the wheels fell off. What about when J.R. Smith and the Cavs, remember that when he rebounded that ball and just took it out?
And took it out. They were down by, was it 1 or 2?
I think it was 1 point.
Yeah, and he grabs the offensive rebound and takes it out to the 3-point line.
And there's still the moment frozen in time.
Great job, Will. Great drop, Will.
Hands forward.
Drop.
Can you feel that in the pros?
That's a great drop.
Can you feel that in the pros when momentum flips and you're like, oh, God?
You do. And you – it's not only the feeling of it, but it's also how the energy changes.
Zapped.
And you're like, oh crap, here we go. It completely switched. And it is something that you it's hard to describe because it's a feeling.
What's it like as a reliever to step into that moment where the wheels are falling off or they have fallen off?
You got to be the energy switch.
And now you got to come that up.
And you got to do it.
Yeah.
And coming into it because it's zapped. And it's all right, I got to save some butts right now. All right, let's do it. Let's show some energy, and then try to invert it and make it go the other way.
Yeah,
because sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really hard, and I failed a lot. But when you get to change that cycle and feel how when you go 1, 2, 3, you punch out the last dude, fist pump, do whatever, and then everybody now it's like, okay, we got a chance. We got a chance.
We'll wind down here from Zipline, Hail Varsity Roadshow for the CWS, powered by Cohenhead Lager.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Leaky faucet? Call Action. Frustrated with a clogged or backed up drain? Call Action. Allergies acting up? Call Action. Their indoor air quality experts can help. Need an electrician? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Get everything you need for your home renovation project and save big money now at Menards. From dust protection to heavy-duty construction projects, Polar Plastics has a fitting solution. Polyplastic sheeting is strong and durable and comes in a variety of sizes and thicknesses to meet the requirements of your project. Shop Menards' selection of Polar Plastic products in-store or online at Menards.com for more great deals happening this week now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Are you ready for a summer to remember? Warhorse Casino Lincoln is your destination for making memories and winning big. Not only are we host to over 400 of the hottest slots, sports betting, simulcast horse racing, and 24/7 gaming action, we're hosting massive giveaways all month long. Hit the slots every Thursday for your chance at a $250 Omaha Steaks gift card or $250 free slot play on select Sundays during Sunday Hot Seats. You could even walk away with your share of $40,000 every Friday during Punchboard Mania. The more points you earn, the more entries you'll receive. And when that midweek slump hits, come back on Wednesdays for the Pitch Perfect bonus game. Earn 25 points to activate even more free slot play. There's only one place it's all happening. Warhorse Casino Lincoln. Minutes from downtown at Highway 77 and West Denton Road. Why not today? Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER. You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Why is Navage perfect for allergy sufferers? Rhino Systems Medical Director Dr. Howard Levine explains.
If someone's exposed to allergens, they can get rid of those immediately by washing out the nose. Navage works by pulling saline in one nostril, through the nose and out the other nostril, sucking out allergens, mucus, dust, and germs. Experience on
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you one final time here at Zipline. We're just right across from Charles Schwab. Apparently, there's been a Trev sighting inside the Schwabby.
Well,
he should be. He's the AD. Yeah,
checks out. I mean, he still has a house around here. Still got friends around here.
Here's my question: has Trev converted the cowboy boots yet down there?
I was going to ask if we think Trev makes a sighting near the Kentucky dugout tonight, yelling at the coaching staff.
No. You guys got put on probation for 400 years for Sean Kemp. What'd you think of that?
That's how we know Trev is fully converted to the Aggie lifestyle. If he makes an appearance by the dugout yelling at him, Trev gets escorted from the premises.
We got in trouble for years for paying guys, but at least they played.
Oh, we should stop before we get ourselves assisted.
Yeah,
I personally can say I still think
either that or there's a dark room no windows, and they're getting all of their A&M logos ripped from their shirts by A&M.
By Trev himself.
Yeah.
Casino style.
Is that a pledge pin?
They're in the back room.
What hand do you write with? My left. Put it on the table.
P.S. Our tab is paid.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I will say that the reaction to Trev, I still think Trev was a good athletic director at Nebraska.
He's amazing.
The way that he left is going to leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, but I think Trev, in hindsight, made a move that, as we know, we would like to climb the ladder of college athletics. You don't tend to do that staying in one spot. I don't have hard feelings around Trev. We're going to turn him into a punching
Trev's
bag
going to be
segment,
the college football czar before long.
I think he deserves to be.
Do you think he did it the right way, though?
No, not at all.
Dude,
that's the one thing I hold against him, but
listen,
there's not a good way to go about leaving a place.
There is no good way with your name on the stadium to leave, and there's no good way to try and remain patient when you need a boss that's not an interim to report to. Because you want to move forward.
Also, there was
with,
a lot of
with
things
the
that we
projects.
were going through, though. Like, we were trying to figure out a president. We were trying to figure out
That's
everything
exactly.
else. Like,
he
there
made
was just a lot.
he made incredible hires and extensions that were probably in the works.
Left the athletic department in a better place than he found it.
Exactly.
And
I know-
that's what we said before, though.
But and I say, did he leave Nebraska?
It's been screwed up a lot. It takes no time to burn Rome down.
Did he leave? Did he leave Nebraska in the right way? No, but is there a right way to leave a program? Because in college athletics,
Not your alma mater.
you either leave a program by getting fired or keeping somebody in the dark and stabbing in the back and going somewhere else. Those are the two ways you can leave in college athletics. Is there any other way to leave?
You got to look out for number one and don't step in number two.
And sometimes stepping in number
Hope
two is
not.
unavoidable whenever you are looking out for number one.
Back two is Trev wearing cowboy boots.
No, I'll say no. I think
he's got a
think
maroon.
he did it?
He's got a maroon tie on from Gary Michaels.
He's definitely wearing loafers.
I think he's doing loafers.
I think he's doing loafers.
Oh, he's doing loafers?
I don't know.
If I had to venture to guess,
No, there's
Kranak-
no chance.
Kranak's the kid zooming in on.
Well, I know
calves and tennis shoes.
from my trips down south,
No
I know loafers are appreciated in the South, like the nice, like the dressed loafers. Not
Penny loafers.
not the super casual ones. I wouldn't be shocked
With no
if
socks?
that's how
No
he converted.
socks?
The fleck.
No sock. Oh, we're going to go there?
No, he
we're
don't
going to
wear
go there,
socks.
Schmitty?
Trevor,
Barry
gonna go-
Alvarez never wore socks either. It's
PJ
okay.
rocks him.
Will, thank you. Back tomorrow. Come find us at Addie's for the Triple Play podcast, and we'll check in with you again on a Tuesday with Hail Varsity.